the number one tip that I have for you, and we are going to get a little bit of psychological here, is you want to make sure that you're smiling no matter what. And what I mean by smiling is you want to smile at people, whether you're walking, whether it's hot outside, whether it's raining. You just want to go ahead and have pure energy when you're talking to people, because if people see you and you're making up your face in a negative way and you're just looking like you're mean and you're grumpy, nobody's really either going to want to help you and nobody's really going to want to talk to you. And I'm not telling you you need to walk around looking like SpongeBob when you had that normal episode would say, hey, I'm normal. You don't need to be like that. But you also don't want to be like Squidward and always just look grumpy and always just look like you're out of it. So the reason why you want to walk around with a smile on your face, and when you're talking to people, you just try to, even if it's fake, the reason why you do that is because we're humans and we all judge each other. We judge each other body language. Like 50% of the reason why we judge people is because of the body language, and then the other 40% is of what they say, and the other 10% is usually just their energy. Like, is their energy different type of energy, whether it's bad or good, whatever it is. But we're all humans. We're all going to judge each other. So example, if a homeless person came up to you and they said, yo, let me get some money, man, you're probably not going to give them that money. You know what I mean? But if they walk up to you, smile like, hey, sorry to bother you, but I'm really hungry. May I, get $1 or $2, or can you buy me something? Most likely that person is going to help you. So if you are homeless on the street, or if you're currently, about to be homeless, you want to start practicing that, because just the tone of how you sound, it will determine if you get that help or if you do not get that help. So I know times are hard. I know you're going through a lot. I know you lost out on this or you lost out on that. I know your bank account's probably closed or the funds are low, but you need to have a positive energy because you want to get through this storm. This is not the end of the road. It's not the end of your life. You got to continue to go. But when you continue to push forward, you want to do it in a positive light. Now, one of the second tips I have for you guys is banks and doctor offices, usually at nighttime, they will go ahead and have open power sources. So if you need to charge your phone or your laptop, or if you have a tablet, whatever you need to charge, you can usually start, snooping around towards the banks or even the doctor offices. I know that kind of sound wrong and sound bad. I'm not telling you to be a creep, because security will pull up and police officers will pull up. But I'm just saying, if you can find maybe 1 or 2 outlets that are like in a quiet place, a dark place where you can just charge your things real quick for maybe an hour or 2 hours, go ahead and definitely start checking that out. And you don't want to go there too late at night. So I would say probably a good time to start snooping around. I would probably say around 5, 6 o'clock. That's usually when these offices will start shutting down. Just hang out there, get your stuff charged up, and then go ahead and leave, because you don't want to be there 10, 11 o'clock at night. You're most likely going to get in trouble. And security, they do their loops around the banks because of thieves, and they do their loops around doctor offices, because you just have crazy people out here nowadays. So the reason why I also say that they have open power sources, because landscaping, down here in Central Florida, a lot of the landscapers, they have tools, tools that need to be charged and hooked up. So a lot of those areas, and it's not just banks and it's not just doctor offices, there's many other commercial places that do the same thing as well, but they leave their outdoor power sources on just so those workers can go ahead and just charge up all their stuff. And even the construction workers, they do it too. They'll go ahead and just use a outlet out there, and if they're going to use it, you go ahead and use it as well. And that's how you're able to get free electricity and power up your phone or whatever you're going to be using. Now, the next tip I have for you, if you want to be in a shelter, and it's up to you, shelters, some people say they're sketchy, some people say they're good, some people say the workers there are not really so nice. A lot of people say the workers there are tyrants, and they think, that you're beneath them because you're in a shelter. But if you do want to go to a shelter, I will say this. Look for a city that has under 200,000 people. And the reason why I say you want to look for a city that's really, I want to say 250,000 or lower, is because they will have more shelters and they will have more beds that you can stay there longer. For example, most shelters will probably only give you 72 hours to stay there. Some might give you a week if you're lucky, But the reason why I say that, in a city that has like 1 million people, or even have like 500,000 people, they have a lot of homeless. You know what I mean? 200,000, 250,000, the homeless is not so great that all the shelters are filled up. You know what I mean? And you can definitely get the shelter in a lower population city compared if you went to, like, I don't know, we're just going to throw a city out there. If you went to Boston, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like Boston, a lot of the shelters would be full. But if you were somewhere in like Kentucky somewhere, you can most likely get a shelter, because there's not a lot of people living in Kentucky and not a lot of homeless people in Kentucky. And I'm just throwing up random 2 cities out there, a state out there. I'm not saying yay or nay, but you get the concept of what I'm trying to say. Now, the next tip I'm going to give you, a lot of people say this is not ethical. Some people say don't do this. You're just taking up parking from other people. And then I have seen other people who are doing the van life, aka some of them are homeless in their vehicles. They say they do this just so they can get some sleep and they'll be out early by the morning. But if you have a car or if you have a van or whatever you're sleeping in that is a motor vehicle, you can go ahead and buy fake scrubs. And fake scrubs, you can get just something that just look like you're a nurse or you're an MA or something in the medical field, whatever it is. And you're gonna go ahead and put that on your dash, or you're gonna go ahead and put that like on your front seat or whatever. And then they say they go to a hospital or ER room and they park all the way in the back because you don't want to be towards the door where people are going to need to park their vehicle so they can get closer to the door. That's not ethical. You park all the way in the back, far off, and you will leave your vehicle. So you'll cover up your windows and everything, but you'll leave that medical looking suit, gear, gown, whatever you want to call it, and you'll leave it on the seat. So when security pass by, security will see that gear and they'll be like, oh, that's a nurse or whatever, they work here, and they'll keep it moving. You understand what I'm saying? So I know some of you are might going to give me flack in the comment section saying, why would you tell people to go park at a hospital or at an ER just so they can go ahead and get a few hours of sleep? And the reason why I say that is because hospitals are typically, they're safe. And let's say you're a woman, and I know men can get attacked too, but let's just say you're a beautiful woman. You will most likely feel safer sleeping in your car near a hospital. You know, God forbid if somebody trying to do something, compare if you were just sleeping in a Walmart parking lot. You know what I mean? And yes, you can sleep at a Walmart parking lot. Same thing, park all the way in the back, cover up your windows and just try to stay out of sight. But some people, they rather just be in safer areas, aka hospitals, or, you know, across the street from a police station or whatever. There's many different areas you can go ahead and sleep at if you live in your vehicle, but that's just one tip that I saw, and I was thinking to myself, that's actually a pretty good idea. Now, I don't know how much the scrubs will cost. Maybe the scrubs will cost you, I don't know, 50 bucks, 70 bucks. I mean, I don't know. Just look around, see if you can find something for the cheapest, but it's a good idea. So go ahead and give it a shot and let me know in the comment section down below if it worked. Now, this is another tip, and it doesn't matter what color you are. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're Hispanic, Asian. Don't matter. I don't care if you have light skin or if you have dark skin. Go ahead and buy an umbrella from the dollar store. You can either go to Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Family Dollar, or even a mom and pop store and get you a cheap umbrella. The umbrella probably costs you, what, 5 bucks, 10 bucks the most. And you're going to go ahead and put that over you when it is very hot. I live in Florida. You guys know it's very hot out here. It's like 88 degrees, 91 degrees. And just go ahead and put that umbrella, open it up, and walk with it. So you're going to have your backpack, or you're going to have your luggage, and you're also going to go ahead and have your umbrella if you cannot afford sunscreen, or if you do not want to put on sunscreen. Some of you might be allergic to sunscreen, I understand. But what I have been seeing some people, and yes, they have been dark skinned, they have been light skinned, all different type of people, black people, white people, Hispanic, they'll walk with an umbrella here in Florida to cover themselves from the sun because they don't want their skin to get either darker, or they don't want to pass away from the sun, or simply they want shade. Some people might say that's crazy. Some people say, you know, why they covering their skin? What's wrong with being dark skinned? It's not about that. It's just about staying cool and staying out of the sun. So definitely look into a cheap umbrella. It doesn't have to be the best umbrella, as long as it gives you some shade and you feel like you won't pass out if you're in the sun for too long. Because there's some people, if they stay in the sun for about 2 hours, even if they're drinking water and staying hydrated, they feel like they want to pass out. So definitely go ahead and invest into a small umbrella that you can carry on you, whether it's in your book bag or whether it's on your side. Now, the last tip I'm going to give you, be very careful. I have never done it, but I have seen people say they've done it. And if you do get caught doing this, you can get in trouble, kicked out, and even arrested. So be very careful what I'm about to say. But you can get a cheap 5x5 storage where I live at here in Central Florida. They're between $30 to $50 a month. It all depends on which storage you go to. But a 5x5 is very small. You can go ahead and put your belongings in there if you don't want to walk around and, you know, carry your things on you, or hide your things in bushes, or leave it at your friend's house if you don't trust your friend that much. You can go ahead and pay that each month. So like I said, it's $30 to $50 depending, and they might have a sign-up fee. So I don't know, let's just say the sign-up fee, I'm throwing a number out there, the sign-up fee could be $99. So you'll pay $99 because you're signing up for the storage, and then you'll pay that extra $30. So let's just say you'll pay $130 for the first month, and then after each month you'll pay 30 bucks, 30 bucks, or 50, or whatever the price is. It all depends, like I said. So you can also live in the storage. There's some people who do that. If you go on TikTok, you have seen it over and over and over. There are many people who live inside of their storage, and yes, they have bigger storage, but that's pretty dangerous. You can get in trouble for that. You can get arrested, like I said, and you can get banned from ever getting a storage at that place ever again. So I wouldn't recommend living in a storage. I'm not saying you can't go in there, but you could stay in there if it's raining. You know, like if you go there and it start raining outside, I don't know why you wouldn't want to stay in your storage until the rain go over, you know, blows over, or even if there's like some type of storm, if you want to stay in that locker. But it's all up to you. It's your storage. You do what you want, but I have seen people do that, and let me know how that works. If you are living in storage, or if you know someone that lives in storage, let me know. Did they get caught? How long they've been doing it? You know, do they still do it? And just share your stories down below. But I mean, you got to do what you do. You're homeless in the street, man. I mean, nobody wants to be living on the street, being outside 24/7. So that's why I said, please don't blame me if you do get caught. Do it at your own risk. That's what I would say. Do that at your own risk, or maybe you just want to leave your belongings there and you don't mind paying the extra $50 a month. Do that. I mean, you can't get in trouble for that. So be very careful. Be very careful. And this is just a straight up warning. But that's all the tips that I have for today. I just want to say thank you very much. Once again, if you want to share your story, if you were formerly homeless, or if you're currently homeless, or you just want to share your own tips, we can go ahead and hop on a Zoom call, you and I, one-on-one, and we can just have a conversation. I'll record it and you can tell your story. So thank you so much for watching. God bless you. I love you. Remember, Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior, and peace out.